Or question for you, Hawk, or statement.
Oh, I met at Merlin's. Okay, so it was the late night Merlin's game we met, and because of the flyer. Okay, thanks for clarifying that, John. My memory gets a little fuzzy on that stuff. So we're back on the air here. It went and reset all the network stuff. I hope that helps. Again, we're still setting up our studio. Things are still not fully in order, and yeah, everything's a hodgepodge right now. It'll get a lot nicer in the coming weeks. So we were in talking about the history of RPG research, we were at 2015, and John, we ran for Extra Life, a 24-hour gaming fundraiser for Children's Miracle Network. That was November 2015, and so again, there's a photo there, and John, you can post the link again. And we didn't quite make the 24 hours. We stopped about 4 hours short. We stopped about 4 hours short because YouTube lied to us. It said there were no viewers. Turns out there were 700 people watching. And we quit the game thinking nobody was watching. Because YouTube said nobody was watching. And yeah, John was really tired because it was 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something like that.
He's probably posting it in chat.
It was yeah, no, there's latency with the video and everything. So more Merlin's Late Night Gaming 2015. I have game rooms all over. When I've put a lot of people in here, I have 7 or 8 game rooms in my house.
Can attest to
that. and the supplies to provide for that. Because I used to do the con at locations, at event places, but it just got so expensive. I was spending anywhere from $5 to $10 grand a year out of my own pocket. You know, people donated and did food and everything else, but it was too expensive. So I've been doing it at my house for the last number of years. We're hoping to ramp it back up and do it out there, but I've been trying to avoid money because Tolkien Mood is all about Tolkien gaming, and I don't want to end up getting in trouble with the Tolkien licensing issues. So if you keep it free, you know, they leave us alone. In 2015, the Spartan show, which was a very popular show through the PS3 initially, his show was mostly about video games, video game commentary, and interviews. And his show was so popular, the VP of Sony Games used to call into his show for feedback, to ask him questions, right? So I was like, wow, that's cool. So his show has been up or down in popularity because, you know, life happens and, you know, having kids and all of that. But he's had a very popular show called The Spartan Show on Twitch. And he wanted to try tabletop role-playing. He was doing all these video games, wanted to try tabletop. So he put the word out looking for a game master that could do it. And I saw the post and responded, and we went back and forth. And so I ended up GMing them. They had never played tabletop before, and I put them through 5th edition D&D, which was pretty new at the time, and put them through my Worlds of Beirut campaign, which is a multiverse campaign. And they had a blast, and added some extra features and such. And we had some good chemistry. There was just natural chemistry. And we did it where I'm there and they're here at a table. We didn't do it with, like, you know, disembodied heads off of different locations. And that worked really well. And it was interactive with the audience and had a lot of great features. Went really well, and then I got sick. And we had to discontinue after about episode 7 or something and set aside. Well, he got the bug. He wanted to game more, and I wasn't able to at the time provide that. So he decided in 2016 to start preparing to run his own campaign. He'd never GM'd before. He did a wonderful job, but he also wasn't ready for the complexity of running games on Twitch with the personality types of many of the Twitch personalities that I've noticed. So unfortunately that show, so he asked me to play in there, and I was a dwarf bard named Krondum. And even though I was 6'7", which by the way in real life I'm 6'7", I'm a dwarf. It's a glandular thing. My mother says it's so. I'm a dwarf, I tell you. Anyway, had a lot of fun playing Krondum. And then he ran a second group, and then somewhere along the road he had to stop. And so that ended. But that was a lot of fun, and there were some interesting things done there. So that so I jumped ahead from 2015 to 2017. So that's 2015. You can see those videos on RPG Research, or if you go to SpokaneRPG.com, actually www.2.spokanerpg.com, right there on the front page are the video clips you can watch of the 5 or 6 episodes, and there's one missing episode because Twitch deletes things. Then things really got crazy. I was on Worldcon. I was on half a dozen, or four panels for Worldcon 73. ran some games. John ran the whole game division for Worldcon. I had a big banner up and of all the past 10 years of research, and the banner kept sliding down while I'm talking to the audience. And I'm like, ah! So this nice elderly gentleman came up and held the post up for me so it quit sliding down. And then he donated $40 to RPG Research, which was really awesome. So there's pictures there from Worldcon and some of John's GMs and all of that. Great event. I went through a whole bunch of training in 2016 on PTSD through the VA, the VHA, the Veterans Health Administration Employee Education System. Took a bunch of certifications and training through that. Also in what year is this? I think it's 2016. We added LARP to Tolkien Moot, and that was a hit. They had such a good time. John was helpful. Ryan, of course, really helped a lot with that. He did the training. One of our members was Autism Spectrum and did a whole video that was for Vice documentary and such. It was his first time LARPing. He talked about how tabletop role-playing game had changed his life, made him more social, etc. And then also talked about how much fun he had with LARPing. And his mother actually signed the release so I could have the video for that. One of these days I need to edit that and make that to the available public. I kept waiting for Vice to release it, and they never did. So I'll do it for us some point. It's some great stuff. Then towards the end of 2016, so one of the challenges I had, I was running all these programs, and it was either getting expensive or really difficult. And this goes back to St. Luke's back in 2013, 14. It was really hard to get a room that we could do tabletop gaming. Forget LARP, not even a chance, or drumming. Just to do a tabletop game for more than an hour. It was easy enough to get a room for about 45 minutes to an hour. Anything more than an hour. In a good game, you need 2 or 3 hours, to get the flow going. And at St. Luke's, which has great facilities, we were always up against other people's space and other facilities. At community centers, at schools. I've run games everywhere. Libraries would get bumped, just everything. And a lot of the places in the communities are dirty, noisy, hot, or too cold, not wheelchair accessible, even though they're community centers. A lot of the game stores are not very friendly for that, unfortunately. And then at the care facilities, we couldn't get more than a 1-hour block because the physical therapists and the others all needed their slots.
And I think the only game that actually runs even decently with the time constraint, once again, is No Thank You Evil. It's just, it allows for you to go through about 1.5 campaigns in about an hour.
Right.
And that's the only stories.
And that's kind of more for little kids, although adults have a lot of fun playing it too. So really a problem as far as facilities. And I was like, what can I do? Because they really wanted me to run more of these programs because we had great luck with the brain injury and spinal cord injury folks. But we couldn't consistently have space. And I was like, what if and they wheelchaired them out all the time. Therapeutic recreation specialists take people out. They get them moving and doing stuff. It's very much about being active. Even with brain injury and such, even though you've just come out of a coma, we got to get you active so all those neuroplasticity benefits kick in. And they wheel them out into the parking lot and get them, some fresh air and such. I was like, what if I pulled up a trailer that had a ramp and we put them all in the trailer and we did the drumming and the gaming in there? And she's like, yeah, that would work. Yeah. I'm like, I need to research that. So that was like 2013, 2014. So I started researching it for a couple of years, and I found there's only one company in the United States that specializes in wheelchair accessible trailers and RVs. Now, in the $100,000 plus range, there are companies that make these huge mobile medical facilities. But they're not RVs. They are custom-built, big metal mobile. They're like mobile command centers for the fire department, mobile command centers for Homeland Security, stuff like that. But they're 100,000 on up. Yeah. Way out of my budget. But I was just looking at, well, what could I do with an RV or something, an RV trailer? Well, the first thing is RV trailers themselves and RV buses you can't do because the electric wheelchairs, the wheels would fall through the floor.
They're just not
reinforced. They're not reinforced because they need to be light. But toy haulers, which are designed to haul motorcycles and ATVs and such, have reinforced floors and a ramp.
Usually.
Well,
ours has a really steep ramp.
well, yeah, well, but it's still a ramp. But
Yes.
but anyway, so I started looking at toy haulers. I never really knew about toy haulers before that. I used to be an 4 times ASE certified mechanic. Somehow I didn't know what a toy hauler was. Little gaps in my knowledge. So I learned about that, and then I found there was only one company in the United States down in Arizona that specializes in wheelchair accessible toy haulers. And it was about 40, 50 grand for a custom built one, because they build all of them custom, that would work so we could put in a bunch of wheelchairs. And I'm like, okay. And they needed 10% down, which was a chunk. And so I started a fundraiser for that and wasn't getting much traction. Nobody knows who I am. So, the research community, the academic community, the therapeutic recreation community, they're getting to know who I am. The rest of the world doesn't know who I am. I have no celebrity. So the donations were trickling in. We're trying to raise 6 grand, still are trying to raise 6 grand for the ideal wheelchair friendly trailer, but it wasn't getting anywhere. So finally I found one here at Click It. The owner kindly sold me one dirt cheap.
Yeah.
13 grand for this used one, because his daughter's in a wheelchair. I think she has muscular dystrophy or something like that. So he totally got what we were doing in trying to provide these programs and go anywhere in the country, especially remote and rural locations. And so originally they were asking 30 grand. He sold it to me for 13 grand. Went to pick it up a couple weeks later. Somebody had stolen all the wiring out of it, ripped all the metal out of it for, to sell and probably get drugs or something. So it was a no-go. They had to scrap it. It was ruined. And that's why I don't dare take the trailer to a storage facility. I keep it on my property, despite the neighbors being annoyed, because that happened. And so that was in August or September of 2016. And finally, so instead I said, all right, let's just find the closest we can find. So got a new one, and it's a 26-foot toy hauler. It's not ideal. It can only seat 3 wheelchairs. It can seat half a dozen people, not in wheelchairs, no problem. But the way the ramp is sloped and all of this, it's only 3 wheelchairs. It's really steep, so we have to build this ramp extension. It works, but it's not ideal, and it's not a wheelchair accessible bathroom and all of that. So I'm still trying to raise money. You go to rpgtrailer.com, you'll see the details, or gofundme.com/rpgtrailer, and you can donate. And we're still trying to get that down payment so I can get the custom built trailer in Arizona built, and then that would just be added to the fleet. But finally, in October 2016, I got the prototype wheelchair friendly RPG trailer. Went on tour. Hung out with Adam Johns and Adam Davis of then Wheelhouse Workshop. They've now spun off into a new thing called Game to Grow. They're a drama therapist and family therapist who've been in the last few years using role-playing games to help kids with social skills. So we did a little 2, 3, 4 hour show on our YouTube stream, which you can check out, with them and Andy Doporowski of the Two Bards. Andy's awesome. Thank you, Andy, for all your support. Andy and Scott run the Two Bards podcast. You can check them out at twobards.com. And so we had a great conversation about how much gaming has affected their life and how they've seen it help others. And Andy and Scott and Brian S. Lewis and others all done nice little videos to encourage people to get the trailer, etc. Ran into Matt Vansel, the author of all the Gamers and Journey Quest stuff, so we got the photos of him there going, rpgtrailer.com on the back of the trailer. Again, John, let's see. We can rent the Michael's Craft Room for 2-hour blocks. Yeah, but it's still not... Yeah. You can crochet character hats while you're there, paint minis, Yeah. We can always use other facilities, but they're never the ideal environment that the trailer is. The trailer is comfortable, temperature controlled. It's just an ideal gaming environment, and you never get that. And it doesn't do any good for all those people in remote locations. Nope. And if they're in a wheelchair, they have to get in a vehicle and get transport to there, whereas we can come to them.
Although most of those are wheelchair accessible. I think almost all of them.
I hope so. A lot of times those aisles get cluttered with stuff during the holidays and such. They're not supposed to, but it happens all the time. There's a lot of stuff not supposed to happen that happens anyway. So that was towards the end of 2016. Toured through Seattle and Tacoma, and that was great. And then came back to end the tour. I was on Creme 2 News and Northwest Cable News for 4.5 hours. From 5 a.m. till 9:30 a.m. I was at the Creme 2 parking lot, and they did little bottom of the hour teasers, 3-minute teasers, and then 5-minute long things, and then we did a Facebook 10 or 15-minute thing, and it was great. It was great. So you can check out all those videos at the Visual History as well. You can kind of see where I'm still waking up at the first 5 o'clock hour. I'm like, waking up with the sun. It was tired. It was right at the after the tour too.
We have a habit of putting everything at once.
Yeah, well, things happen. I mean, just things happen. So that was October 10th, 2016. And then also in 2016, I got to be filmed in Journey Quest 3, which is right now releasing episodes.
Yep.
They just started releasing episodes a few weeks ago. And if you look carefully, in one of the bar scenes, there's moi crying at the beautiful music of the bard played, and she comes up and kisses me on the cheek and everything, and did 12 takes of that. It was her idea, not mine. And my girlfriend was there, and she was cool with it, and it was awesome. So you can check that out on Journey Quest 3, and I think that episode has come out now. I don't know if it's in the released version. It's in the full version, which I have. I don't know if they've done it in the online version. I haven't had a chance to watch the online release yet. But that was filmed in 2016. And then in 2017, Eastern Washington University, I got to be the special guest for the therapeutic recreation class and demoed it to them and showed why the ramp is too steep. It's really hard to get people. I can do it, but it's difficult for others. And so we really, that's why we have, luckily this year, a veteran donated a 26-foot, 22-foot? 20-something foot ramp to extend ours. A $5,000 ramp, which was really nice, but it takes an hour to set up.
And during that time, we were supposed to be going out in the community and checking ramp heights, and
it was perfect timing.
It was perfect timing.
Yeah,
so we understood
challenges.
completely the challenges.
So I did another tour. Wheelhouse Workshop asked me to actually kind of audit their program, had me participate in it, gave them pages of copious notes, and to help them try to improve their program. And they are implementing a lot of those ideas. So I was glad to be able to help that, and they're helping more people that way. Toured down at the Pacific Northwest American Therapeutic Recreation Association. I got to speak there, so that was another tour. So I was down in Portland with the trailer. Met Professor DiTillo, and author of the Facilitation Techniques in the Therapeutic Recreation.
I just can't see this one.
Yeah, where's the newer one? I had the newer one right on top of it with the hand.
Oh.
The colorful hand. It was right. Oh, here it is.
I was like,
there it is.
Okay.
Okay, so author of this, and this is through Penn State Press. He's the professor of recreation there. And if you want to grab the other one. No, I mean the competing one.
Oh.
The white one there, white
This
with
one?
blue top. Nope.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to get certified in recreation therapy, you have to go through a class that covers either this book or this book. There are no other books that I'm aware of
me
in
either.
all the schools teaching TR in the country. It's this one or this one. This one is published here in Washington State, so here in the Northwest, this tends to be the one that professors pick. This is pretty much the rest of the country.
Yep.
Through Pennsylvania State. So Professor DiTillo wrote this. He has asked me to write an entire chapter in this book, 30-page chapter, and this is a textbook on using role-playing games as a recreation therapist, etc. So I'm way behind schedule on that, but in the next edition of this book, this is a third edition, it'll be the fourth edition, hopefully, if I can get my stuff finished. So that was really, really awesome. We really connected, and that went really well. Yeah, it gets so cluttered, getting through aisles can become a nightmare. Yeah, totally. I mean, even without a wheelchair, it could become a challenge, but with a wheelchair, it's all but impossible.
I'm a broader person, and I knock over things all the time.
They legally are not supposed to do that, but it happens all the time. So, okay, so we're almost caught up. We're almost to this year. When things just, wow. So then early 2017, we were in the Spartan show. Did another tour. We went up to Bellingham for the Washington State Therapeutic Recreation Association up in Bellingham. Didn't speak at that one, but we got to present the trailer to everybody. It was the first Wastra that we had the trailer. Tolkien Moot, Went really well. It was the first time I had a bunch of volunteers to help in a long time. Some great shots there from Tolkien Moot, good sized number of people. We also was the first time Tolkien Moot was inside the trailer as well as through my house. Then the MDA camp pictures, I was an Ent, as well as the battle. We talked the MDA stuff we talked about at length. You can check all that out. MDA was awesome. We've done a whole show just on that. And the Spark Central community we started in August. SpoCon, of course, we can't forget SpoCon. We were at SpoCon in August, and then
we ran the accessibility table there too.
We were the whole accessibility department. In September, I bought the wheelchair-friendly RPG bus. Yep. Now this is a fixer-upper. It's a 1984 Thomas bus, and without the seats are all removed, so it's a big square space for gaming. Pretty much about the same space actually more space than the trailer, and it has a wheelchair lift. So the problem with the lift is it's very slow. All lifts are slow. They have to be. They literally are made to slow down because of OSHA and everything. So it can take a long time to get people. Basically, 2 people, and it's like 5-10 minutes. Yep. You've lost a lot of time, and that's why I like the ramp approach, because you can get people in and out very quickly. But we got this bus. I got it for $2,000. It's a fixer-upper. We are fixing it up, and I'm hoping by May, which we'll talk about that. It'll be fixed up and it'll be on tour, and we'll have 2 rooms on wheels, 2 gaming rooms on wheels, or as Ivan Van Norman Greg Tito said, maybe it was Ivan Van Norman said, a living room on wheels. Yeah.
We just have to wait for all the snow to pass for a minute.
Right. Well, I tested the bus in the snow though, and it did really well. Oh, I took it up my street. I took it up Ardmore with how bad it is. Yeah, it did really well.
And for those of you that don't know, it's an ice rink out there.
Yeah, and I'm on the side of a mountainside plateau, so it's very steep. So it did okay. Then in October we were at Fan Nexus. Yep. I got to hang out briefly with Walter Koenig. Yes. You would know him as Chekhov, or in Star Trek, or Bester in Babylon 5. I really liked him as Bester. So there's a fun little photo of me standing there with him. We were running games there. You were running No Thank You Evil, AIM.
This is Adventures of Middle-earth.
Eves of Mirkwood. Okay, Adventures of Middle-earth. Yeah, Eves of Mirkwood. And John was running No Thank You Evil. It's adorable little girls, big old group of girls, little girls there. It's a great.
It was almost all little girls.
It was too. That's such an adorable. John's got his fez and everything. It's just that's just a beautiful shot. I love that.
It was 3 families of little girls.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then we had some cosplayers who pose in front, so they're being from Game of Thrones. What's his name? Drago. Drago and Khaleesi. Yeah. So they're cosplayers who posed, so that was fun. And we met Ivan Van Norman.
Yes.
Who has been wonderfully supportive of what we're doing and helped spread the word. He was on Dragon Talk a few months ago saying, if you don't know RPG research and the RPG trailer and RPG therapeutics, go check it out. So listen to Ivan Van Norman. He knows best, right? And then also in November of this year, we did our first drum circle facilitation workshop where we're teaching others how to facilitate drum circles. I've been doing it for years and years and years. I've been teaching these guys how to do it. And then we did this, and it was a fundraiser towards the trailer. We raised $186 for just a 2-hour workshop.
Which is more in
and there were only 8 people. Let's see, sign language 8. There were 8 people, and they were that generous. It was wonderful. And they now want to do it monthly and do it as a fundraiser for the trailer.
And they found a spot at...
We're probably going to do it at the studio again because the other stuff's still being worked out.
Okay.
So we'll probably do it at the Indie Air Radio studio again next week. Basically, it's right around the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. It's easy. Drum circle's easy. I can do that in my sleep. Also, 2017, I was awarded Trustee of the Year by the RPG Brain Trust. They gave me a nice mug. Oh, I should have brought it down. It's upstairs. Oh, well. There's pictures of it on there. And it says, the RPG Brain Trust, Hawk Robinson, the RPG Trailer and the RPG Research Project, Trustees 2017, for assisting those with disabilities to access gaming. So that's our first little award. Thank you guys so much. That was very kind. So that's the photo history. The amalgamation text version, which I'll go ahead and paste this into our Twitch channel, is an incredibly long URL, so you'll have to see on the Twitch channel. It's www.rpgresearch.com/blog/amalgamation-of-q-a-interviews-presentations-on-RPG-for-therapy-education. Oh, you posted the Ivan Van Norman link. Great. Dragon Talk episode. Thanks, John. He's really being very helpful. As always. John's always very helpful.
Yes.
But that amalgamation link is, you will see how it just exponentially, we have barely touched the surface of everything we've done here. So I'm going to do a very quick 2016-2017 read through. Okay. Interview in Creme 2. Interview Northwest Cable News. Multiple interviews.
Article?
Game to Grow webisode. What is therapeutic gaming? Tour of the trailer #1. Dungeons of the Minds tabletop RPGs as social therapy. Article interview for Killscreen. Article The Pacific Northwest RPG Research RPG Therapy on Gastro Gamer. Interview Fun and Fiction How RPGs Can Heal Your Mind and Body. Interview unicornbooty.com. Short summary video RPG Research Project Wheelchair Friendly RPG trailer. That I put together. Presentation at Texas State University Living Games pre-conference presentation video with voiceover. Presentation Eastern Washington University Washington State Therapeutic Recreation Association. Presentation. Okay, multiple presentations there. Northwest American Therapeutic Recreation Association. Another. Oh, Portland. That's right. I was both Washington and Portland.
Yeah. And
Northwest and Washington State. So that's 2016. 2017. Oh, look at that. It's exponential. We're just going, whoa. And so remember, a year ago it was just me, and now there's 7 of us, and it's just going, whee. Interview Columbia Chronicle, Miranda Manier, interviewed November 7th, publication pending. I think that did get published, didn't it? I think I've got a link to it now. Workshop, we talked about that. Broadcast,
we do
monthly broadcasts for Patreon. You get special if you go to patreon.com/RPG Research, and you donate certain levels, you get early access and exclusive access to various broadcasts and such. The convention at Fan Nexus, the Trustee of the Year Award, we purchased the bus. Men's Health Magazine interviewed me, waiting for that to show up. Shippensburg University interviewed me, Hunter Wolf, pending publication. Killscreen interview. 13 years of operation in 2017. We incorporated finally in September as a Washington State nonprofit. We're still working on our 501c3. We already filed the papers a few weeks ago, waiting on the IRS for that. But we are a Washington State nonprofit now. We're both board member. I'm chair and she's board member. John's board member. We got a bunch of people there. Spark Central monthly program started. More broadcasts, convention panels, Spokon. Multiple panels we were on there. Had some interesting. I still need to get those uploaded, don't I?
Yep.
I don't think I've uploaded those. We got a license this summer from Wizards of the Coast.
Yes.
As far as we know at the time, nobody else, as far as they told us, the only license in the world to use all the Wizards Dungeons and Dragons stuff for everything that we do. And it just says basically all the projects that William Hawks Robinson does. Yeah. I'm licensed to use as long as we don't misrepresent or anything for therapy, for education, for entertainment, what have you. Everybody else who's doing this without a license is technically at risk if they make a dime. If they don't make a dime, they don't care, it's fine. But if they start making money, you should contact them and get permission. And it didn't cost us anything to get permission. It took some doing to get through the firewall, but we got through, and they were very supportive, very excited, and they gave us this license that gives us permission to do what we do and to make money either for nonprofit or for-profit, and we're at least respecting their intellectual property. So if you're doing anything that involves making money using their product, contact them, get a license, get permission, and just be respectful of that. But they were so kind, so we got that this summer. So that was a huge. I've been trying for years to get through them. Yep. That was a huge milestone this year. High Level Games interviewed by Josh Heath. I don't know what's happened with that publication. Of course, we had the muscular dystrophy summer camp thing. Yep. Novos Mental Health, they've asked us to train. So Novos Mental Health provides mental health services throughout King County for, I think it's 70 to 80,000 clients, yep, which is 40% of the King County mental health youth. Huge program. And they want us to train. So first it started, we were just going to train one department on one campus, the
yep,
TR department. But then when they got approval, the campus director said, hey, wait a minute. And then it bumped up so the whole campus, interdisciplinary, they wanted to be trained. And they said, wait, let's not do that. Let's ask the whole network. Now the whole network wants us to train their professionals on how to integrate role-playing games into their programs. So, but then they just went through some changes on the scheduling, so we're hopefully 2018 we start training them on that. I've already mentored and trained individuals through, but now I've got an educational program to make that streamlined. So that was a huge thing that happened with Navos, amazingly huge. The ramp that was donated by a U.S. veteran through the Muscular Dystrophy Association. That's a $5,000 ramp he gave us. Thank you it was so nice.
We very much appreciate it.
Wastra, we were up there in Bellingham. Legends Through Shadow, I talked about as the dwarf. More of our monthly broadcasts. Pacific Northwest, Portland. Zombie Orpheus Entertainment. Journey Quest, they did a nice video in costume saying donate to the trailer. Ego Check with the IDDM. He's a psychologist. He interviewed me for his podcast, episode 7. So, yeah, a lot of stuff. Absolute. All right, let's see. We got some questions in the chat room. Several questions, because why not? You can answer them later that I don't interrupt your broadcast. Hey, the nice thing about Twitch is this interactive. I love that. As a GM, I'm sure it's tough for you to pick your favorite campaign you've run so far, but if you had to choose, which would it be? Well, I'm biased, probably my own, Worlds of Beirut, which we're going to talk about.
It's a lot of fun to run through that.
In fact, let's use that as a segue.
Well,
John's talking about Ravenloft.
Oh, yeah.
He says, I'm really beginning to love the Mirkwood campaign for Ventures in Middle-earth. Cool. Oh, yeah. Well, I've been running Middle-earth campaigns since the 80s. That is kind of my specialty, is because I got all this Tolkien stuff, Tolkien Society. I know Tolkien settings backwards and forwards. Every age, first age, before the first age, second age, third age, fourth age. I've run all the ages I've run campaigns in. That whole section there is Middle-earth gaming. And then this whole shelf over here is Tolkien books. So I definitely love to run Tolkien-based gaming. Second to that, probably my Worlds of Beirut, because it's multiverse and I can do anything. It's heavily derivative, intentionally, and it's a lot of fun.
So I can't choose between Dragon's Knot Falls on Thank You Evil. Yeah,
that is a fun little game.
And Eves of Mirkwood.
So he did say campaign, though, and that one's not a campaign.
There's not really a campaign.
You haven't done a campaign yet. You're still new to this. She never GM'd before this year.
Yeah.
And she's doing a great job.
I'm just doing one shot, though.
Yeah, but it's a really good, keep it a small box and just really progressing very nicely.
Start somewhere.
As a player, who was your favorite character you've played, and who was the strangest character?
With Dan Ivey, we just played.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I really liked my Stone Gal.
Stone Gal?
I think it was a gal.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was I forget what it's called, but she was basically stone, and I just kind of like blend in and just kind of chill and sneak up on people. I really like doing that, and I'm really like talkative in the real world, but when it comes to gaming, I like sit back in the corner and watch people play. I don't know why that is, but it's been like that. I've been noticing.
I have played so many characters and so many campaigns, so it's really hard to pick a favorite, as you said. So I'd have to go with what's more recent in memory, because I'm sure if I went back through the decades, I could go, oh, wait, no, that one. Oh, wait, no, that one. Oh, wait, that one. I would probably have to say I really, really enjoyed playing Crondoom, the Dwarf Bard, on the Spartan Show.
And that shows
I got
to the
camera. Yeah, I really, really enjoy. I mean, I went all out. I've never done the cosplay thing, gaming, and I added that to it. And I was composing and performing music live on Twitch on the fly. I was being the bard, the 6'7" dwarf bard. So yeah, maybe it wasn't a stretch for me.
No,
maybe that character is where I am at heart. That is who I am here inside. But yeah, really, really had a lot of fun playing Crondoom. So that's the one that jumps out at me as a player. Part of it is I don't get to play that often. I'm usually the GM, or I'm teaching people to GM or play. So I don't get to play that often, or if I do, it's usually pre-canned stuff. And
you're doing
other things. That's the only one. That's the only campaign I've played this year. So it would have, by default, it'd be Crondoom. Yeah. But I really had a good time. It was a lot of fun. I was really sad when the show stopped. Who was the strangest character? So for you, it was both, right? That was both your favorite and strangest?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's definitely the strangest, because I like to choose characters that, well, I guess maybe the first character I played with you guys was the strangest, because I couldn't get into...
Well, and yeah, it wasn't yours.
It wasn't my character. I stepped into someone else's character, and I was just having this disconnect with
And we were
character.
playing Rollmaster in Worlds of Beirut, and she took over somebody else's character because the player no-showed. And wasn't invested, and turned out the guy had cheated.
Yeah,
it
was so
character,
hard.
So it was all messed up.
I'm trying to figure out how to play his character.
Yeah, and it was all
like...
wrong. We're like, okay, we got to get you a different character. So yeah, that was an interesting situation. How are you feeling about your current one?
I like it a lot. Okay, good. It's something that's out of the box still, but it's not like I can't figure out what this person's gonna do because I created it.
Cool. For me, the strangest character I have played. Ooh, I'm going to have to go back a while for that because I haven't. I mean, I always try to play something different, right? Because I've done all the archetypes, and actually the archetypes are fun. Probably Amber.
Oh, I don't think I know that one.
Amber is a diceless. Oh, my back.
Yeah.
Let me get it. I need to stand up for a bit.
Okay.
So, if you're just tuning in, I moved all these books today, so my back is killing me. So, bear with me. And we're still getting the studio set up. Amber, the diceless role-playing game, and you're basically all deities. And it's a real it's kind of more of a free-form tabletop role-play. It's very different. It's different. Failing that, maybe in Stormbringer, I played whatever the version of a sorcerer was that was, you use a lot of demons and everything else. Stormbringer is dark. Stormbringer, it's a lot of fun, but it is dark. Michael Moorcock has some funky stuff. Very transplanar, multiplanar, and so as far as character goes, I think it was a huge. I can't remember now. It's been so many years. Of course, Cthulhu, you get strange situations. Not necessarily strange players, but strange situations. I don't have one that pops out right at the moment. I'm sorry. I'll have to think about that. Great question, though. Appreciate it. I know they're kind of standard questions, but it's a good question. Ravenloft. So John says Ravenloft for him is his favorite campaign. I love Dragonlance, the old classic AD&D First Edition Dragonlance. I love Thieves World. I want
to play
Thieves World is awesome. It's so gritty.
I really like Gamma World too. I didn't play much, but that's one of the ones I hadn't played with you guys.
Right, and of course Paranoia is great for one-shots or short shots. I really miss Top Secret, and I did the Kickstarter. I donated the Kickstarter for the new Top Secret New World Order role-playing game that's in the works being released. It did succeed. Really looking forward to that. Midnight is cool because you also get an intro video to prepare you for the adventure. They made a nice little movie. That's actually pretty well done that they filmed themselves to get you ready for it's a dystopic Middle-earth, basically. It's as if they failed to destroy the ring and Sauron won, what would it be like? That's Midnight Chronicles. That's a lot of fun, too. I want to do some more Hackmaster, but that's less setting than more system fun. Game of Thrones, I don't really care for the setting as much, but I really like the house rules, and I've incorporated those house rules into multiple systems, into Greyhawk and other settings. It's a really great way to bond very quickly. Firefly, love, not Serenity, Firefly, the role-playing game. So the older Margaret Weis role-playing game, Firefly, lots of fun. It's more freeform, but it has enough detail. Then they republished it they did Serenity first. Then they came out with their Cortex 2.0 system as Firefly, and it's so abstracted. None of my players enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it. We love the setting, but not the system. And so the older Serenity Cortex 1 system, a lot of fun. Really like doing Firefly. That, again, is a GM, but it's a lot of fun. So John says he loves Ravenloft. He's starting to love the Mirkwood campaign for Adventures in Middle-earth. Inune Koyokai. Ravenloft ended up being my very first tabletop experience. I've got a soft spot in my heart for it. And for me, it's Greyhawk. And Blackmoor, because I have the original Blackmoor. John says, I don't play often, but my favorite character is my wife's Barbarian, who basically has Asperger's. This character was created before we even knew what that was. Goliath. I like playing goblins and Pathfinders. We be goblins. He says, I ran the Freeport campaign, which was the only one I've run so far since I'm a newbie GM. I had fun with it. Favorite character would have to be Seraphine, Human Dragon Shaman, with Ixen, half-orc, blind barbarian, being a closer. I did play Vampire, the tabletop game, earlier this summer for a little while, and I enjoyed that. I really wish I'd had the time to continue it. And strangest so far for him would have to be Lotus Tiefling Druid. There is a game called Anima, which is an anime setting I never got to play. I started making characters, but I've never gotten to actually play it. It's so convoluted and complicated.
My fiance is over here going, no,
tell me about it.
3 days to make my first character.
So I've never gotten to play it. So that is all the way up to 2017. So what is coming in 2018? You might ask.
Lots of stuff.
So what's coming in 2018?
Well, thank you for asking. Let me pull up my quick notes on that. So, we are RPGeducation.com is going live for classes on how to do role-playing gaming better, how to become a better game master, how to apply role-playing games into your education facility, how to apply role-playing games in your therapy. We've got a psychiatrist from Montreal who's starting to take the class. We've got other people lining up. Very exciting. So it's stuff I've been teaching for years to professionals and mentoring and such. Now I'm trying to get it all online so the reach is much greater. So that is launching in January. The first class is going online January 7th or 8th on rpgeducation.com. So also on January 22nd, we are going to be on Wizards of the Coast Dragon Talk. So that's their Twitch channel with Greg Tito and maybe some others. Really looking forward to that. John and I are going to take the trailer out there. The Wheelchair Family RPG trailer. We'll actually go to Wizards of the Coast with the trailer and show it to them. I have been scrambling to get some artwork. We've been working on new logos, video intros, all sorts of fun stuff, which you guys will be seeing coming up over the coming weeks. And we will be on Dragon Talk January 22nd. Now, I don't know which is live and which is recorded, and the details of that are sketchy. I just know when we're supposed to be there. So really excited about that. And that's thanks to Ivan Van Norman. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you. We're really hopeful that'll really make things take off from there. In February, we're going to be at ZoeCon 3, and we'll be speaking on panels. We'll have the trailer there. You get to see all the great folks from Zombie Orpheus Entertainment and Dead Gentlemen, all of that. So if you love Journey Quest, The Gamers, any of their shows, Demon Hunters, we have the Demon Hunters role-playing game, the older version. Yep. Here it is. So as I'm talking about them, I will show off some of their cool stuff. So Matt Vansel is a writer of all of the main Journey Quest the main Gamers universe, etc. But anyway, so Demon Hunters is Dead Gentlemen's productions. This is kind of their version of Supernatural, and they have a role-playing game for it. And they have a newer version than this. This is the older one. And this is using the Margaret Weiss Cortex system that I was just talking about for Firefly and such. And it's a lot of fun, and it's humorous. So it's like a humorous version. Supernatural has a little bit of humor. This takes it to a whole other level. And then Matt Vansel released his second edition, thanks to supporters both through Patreon and Kickstarter, of his Orcish English Dictionary. So when you hear Orcish in Journey Quest and such, and in Gamers, because there's those futuristic works, it's actually from a dictionary. And as donors, we get to help make some of the words and such, and you'll see. So Matt is awesome. If you're not supporting Matt Vansel as a writer on Patreon, now he's going to be dropping Patreon soon and go to something else, because after the shenanigans of Patreon pulled. But you should hurry and support him. It's at patreon.com/Matt Vansel. Support him so he can write full-time. He's getting enough to write part-time. We need to get it up there so he can quit his day job and just write all this stuff full-time. So if you're not supporting him yet, please do. So we're going to be at ZoeCon in February. Shelley Mazanoble might be. I don't know if she's always on the show, is she? But hopefully she'll be on the Dragon Talk show with Greg Tito. So I hope so, because I enjoyed her book. as well. See, this is here for a reason. This is not just to show off. It's here for a reason. She wrote Confessions of a Part-Time Sorceress, A Girl's Guide to the Dungeons & Dragons Game. And it was very entertaining. I think, Katie, I read it to you on one of our road trips. And we were chuckling through all of it. It was very enjoyable. And so I hope Shelley's on there because I'd love to compliment her on that. Who knows, maybe I'll get her autograph the book or something. That'd be cool. Yeah. So that'd be on Dragon Talk in January. And as I said, February for ZoeCon. Then in March, and darn it, I wanted to get the video queued up here. Where's that thumb drive? Let's see. I think I've got a... let's see. Okay, I'm going to pull up. I want to paste it. Again, in the future, we're going to have everything kind of set up better, but we're still getting things going here. This is our first time in this new studio, and we're still setting up. And right now, it's still just me running everything. I don't have anybody helping with the AV and the tech, which I hope we will have going forward. Let's see if I've got the...
I don't know enough to help with that.
No, it doesn't have... Okay, I'm going to paste a URL here, and it has the video. And this is a big thing that's coming. Oh, that doesn't do any good to do it there because, okay. Because I'm on a different computer. That's the streaming computer. This is where we're interacting with Twitch computer. Did I upload it to the RPG Research channel? In YouTube?
I think so.
I did. Okay, so here it's okay. So let me go to that video. I'll paste this URL. So it's RPG Research Heroes of the Mist coming soon. Let me paste that over here.
Oh, it looks like someone might have beat you.
Somebody already got to it?
It looks like John might have beat you.
Oh, good. Well, good. I'm pleased. Okay, I've lost where my mouse is. There it is. Mm-hmm. Is it the same one? Yeah, same one. Okay, cool. Thanks, John. So that video there
Even sick,
is a little teaser. It come on, YouTube. So in March, coming soon to Twitch TV, twitch.tv/RPG Research. Heroes of the Mist, a Worlds of Beirut campaign by Hawk Robinson. I gotta do the voiceover eventually for this, but
yeah,
right now it's just mist sounds. A fundraiser for the non-profit RPG Research, www.mistheroes.com. So that is going to be happening this March sometime. Yeah. We are going to have several improv professionals, actors who are from Jet City, who are also role-playing gamers. So as much as people enjoy shows like Critical Role and all those others, which I'm not criticizing them anyway, I personally don't enjoy them because I feel like they focus more on their voice acting and goofing around than they do on the gaming and furthering the story. So I want, when we run this show, that it is going to be first and foremost running a game, a tabletop role-playing game, focusing on that. And yes, we were going to interact with the audience and make it as enjoyable for the audience as possible. I mean, to be honest, I don't understand why people like to watch people play tabletop role-playing games. I love playing the games, but it seems incredibly boring to me to watch people play a tabletop game in their imagination. I don't get it. I get it. I get it intellectually that people do. Yeah, your whole generation loves it.
I watch other people play regular computer-based games.
I mean, it's like with sports. I have no interest in watching sports. I do not watch football. I play football. I played basketball. I played rugby. I played soccer. I love to do.
Baseball's the same way for me.
Yeah, but at least there's some physical activity and action going on with sports.
Yes.
Tabletop is us sitting around a table talking about it. And yet, when we did it for the Spartan Show in 2015, and we did it again in 2017, and I did it, people loved it. We broadcast making characters, and they enjoyed it. I don't get that. I just what?
The other thing, too, is if you're going to run through those kind of campaigns, it's really hard to find people sitting down making a character.
Right, to get the details of how to do it. Yeah. I get that it's educational. I mean, I make educational videos all the time. But
it was funny.
Yeah, Katie. I mean, so part of it was we had some good chemistry. Mike and the others, we had good chemistry. So I'm really glad you enjoyed. I mean, we put it out there for you to enjoy. John talks about people watch professional poker. But there's stakes there. There's $100,000 on the line or something. So that makes people like, ooh, let's get the dopamine hit of success or not success and all that. I can almost understand that, even though I personally find it boring to watch. I'm much more a doer than a watcher. However, people have asked for us to do more to try to show how to do this. And we do all this research of optimizing the gaming experience. So, and I've been doing broadcast versions and internet versions of tabletop role-playing since the 90s. So I'm going to try to raise the bar. So a bunch of cool things we're going to try to do. And again, this will only work if I've got help. I can no longer do everything. I've done everything up until this past year.
Yep.
And what I want to take it to the next level, there's no way I can physically do if it's me doing everything. So I'm hoping now that we've got more people, I can train them, and then we'll be able to do things. So here's the cool stuff I want to try to do for Heroes of the Mist, which is my Worlds of Beirut campaign. It's a multiverse setting. You start out in an Arthurian setting, sort of, and it goes all over. And the mists, if you wander into the mists, you can get lost anywhere in the multiverse.
Yes.
So some of the things that, let's see, and I've got a wiki set up that was listing. Okay, so one of the things is we're going to try to get a real-time artist rendering the scenes as we're verbally describing them. You will see on the screen the artist sketching up the scene real-time. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's one part, in addition to the characters. We're going to have artistic renderings of each character. We're going to have artists through Fiverr or whatever. Mm-hmm. Once you guys have defined your characters, you're not playing, you're helping. But I'm saying you people. John's playing, I'm GMing, Drake is playing, Joe's playing, and then we're going to get some others. And we'll start with a cast of 6 to allow for attrition down to 4 or so players. If we can keep 6, great. That'd be great. Mm-hmm. But so we'll have the little pictures of us so you can see us, but you'll also have a picture of the character, an artist rendering the character that'll pop up when they're talking or something like that. And then there'll be the real-time artist sketches, and then the map, the virtual tabletop, whatever, of what's happening. So all that will be happening on the screen there. It's a little busy, but it helps you focus on what you want to focus on. Additionally, something that I've really enjoyed doing that lets you as an audience member be part of the story, to shape the story, is as you hang out in our Twitch chat room, there'll be a bot that's monitoring. Just hanging out in our chat room, you'll slowly earn XP. You'll earn points of some kind. You won't earn a lot, but you'll earn some over time. And if you contribute and make good comments and you're helpful and all of that, the moderator will give you a bonus XP, so you'll earn points faster. And then we have a shopping list from 10 XP to thousands of XP where you can real-time-ish affect the story. And you will spend those points, and then I will be notified while I'm running the game. There'll be a little pop-up to the side behind my screen that says, hey, such and such asked for a black cat to walk across their path. It's nothing that will destroy the game, but you will have an effect on events in the game. Mm-hmm. And I will then, on the fly, because luckily I've been jamming for 35 years, decades, I can do it on the fly pretty quickly. And since I'm doing Worlds of Beirut, I know the campaign of the world inside and out. It's very easy for me to do this. Some of the things we did this before with have become part of the campaign that you will run into later, yes, that were because of audience members, and now they live on in the story because they're like Stebber and Stebberson and such, which was a Twitch viewer who donated, and now his characters continue as part of the campaign that people run into. Mm-hmm. So you will be able to affect the story, the weather, major events, minor events, things like that, and you'll know that you're doing it by spending it. Now, the whole point of this show is a fundraiser for RPG Research. RPG Research is a nonprofit. Up to this point, everything's been coming out of my own pocket. I can't keep doing that. We've got a few Patreon supporters who we're so grateful for their support, but it's very small. We need to really grow that. They donate every month, a few dollars each month, and it's helping grow. So we're hoping through the show that people will start seeing more of what we do, because we talk about it, but you don't get to see it. So we're hoping by doing it in an entertainment way, we won't be doing the therapeutic educational, but you'll see the entertainment value. that you'll support RPG research, and then that funding goes to help support the programs which we do with the community and help us grow and get better trailer and all of that. So one of the things you can do, in addition to loitering the channel and being active in the channel to earn XP, is you can just donate outright. And if you donate certain amounts, you'll get X amount of XP. We haven't worked out the exact number, but let's just say $10 gives you 100 XP. And then that's like gives you a whole bunch of things you can choose from the list that would take longer to hang out in the channel. So you can directly affect the story, feel part of the story, it becomes a permanent part of the story. You can go, hey, look, I did that. And you're donating to a nonprofit that is out there using role-playing games to help improve people's quality of life. So that's going to start in March. And so that's why we're getting everything set up with a dedicated studio and getting this. As I said, we're not there yet. We're going to have, I don't have any microphones set up. It's just running off the webcam, so the audio is terrible. I know that. Please don't comment about how bad the audio is. I know how bad the audio is. I have other microphones. They will be added as I get things finished being set up. So that's coming in March.
And I'll figure out how not to be whitewashed. I did my makeup really light today, and I didn't think of that.
Okay, well, moving the cameras back too. Yeah, hey, Felicia Day, if you want a part, give us a call. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? Will Wheaton and Felicia Day, that'd be awesome. Ivan, too, hey, if you want to be on it, Ivan, that'd be awesome. Oh, man, that would be great. I've tried so hard to get through to Will Wheaton and Felicia Day. I did get through to Will, Felicia Day on one question about, so I'm 6'7", I used to be just under 6'9", for my injuries and age. And I asked her if she'd ever worked with any really tall actors above 6'4" who like had major roles that were sustained, not just monsters, thugs, things like that. And she's like, "Why do I get the weird questions?" I'm like, oh. Anyway, she's like, yeah. What's his name from? She said his name. I forget his name from Supernatural.
Jared Padalecki.
Yeah, Padalecki. Oh yeah, he's giant, and they're always making jokes about how tall he is. He's only 6'4". Thus my point. There's like this magic cutoff. Now, somebody in Zombie Orpheus Entertainment chat room just pointed out on their Discord, there is a guy in, I meant to go find that. I forgot to send you that. Sorry, Katie. Who apparently his character name, and he's a bad guy in the show, is Hawk Robinson.
You think he found
And he's 6'5". 6'5" and a half. And I got to find where that posting was. I forget. I think it was. I'm trying to remember which. There's so many Discord channels now. I was like, Anyway, they posted, and so he's in the show as a bad guy. And I don't know if the show's still running, but somebody was watching it and went, "Hey, Hawk Robinson, he's tall, and he could be my younger brother. He got a beard. He looked kind of similar features. He's tall." I was like, "That's a trip." So I'm trying to find which Discord channel that was in. So anyway, I'll see if I can find that before we wrap up. In April, we have... where's my list? Okay, Zoe. April, we'll be at the Washington State Therapeutic Recreation Association Conference. We do that conference, and that's going to be a new location, right? It's at...
I think it's in Ellensburg or Leavenworth. I can't remember.
No, it's neither of those. It's close to there, remember? It's not Leavenworth or Ellensburg. It was... Anyway, we'll be at Washington.
It's somewhere between those 2 points.
Hopefully be on a panel again. Wenatchee, I think. No, I don't know. Anyway, we'll be at that. That's a professional conference of recreation therapists. I've spoken there a few times. We'll be speaking again, and we'll have the trailer there again, but it's a new location. And so that's in April.
I don't know what he's wedding.
He's probably wedding about the Hawk Robinson part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then in May, I was asked once again to go to the Living Games conference, and I didn't make the last one in Texas because something came up last minute. So I've been invited a third time, and I didn't want to not get invited again.
3 strikes, you're out.
And it's in Boston. So I'm going all the way up to Boston in May to the Living Games conference with Sarah Lynn Bowman and everything, which is awesome. It's a LARP conference, but it's a bunch of PhDs, and it's a great program. I'm really looking forward to it. But I don't fly anymore because they've made it impossible for me. I mean, literally... I have 39.5-inch legs. I literally can't sit down unless I had a knee in the middle of my thigh. I cannot sit down in the planes anymore. They literally have shrunk them too small, and I always get harassed. So I haven't flown in years now because it's just become. I'll just drive. I'll drive wherever. I love driving. I'll just drive and I don't have to deal with any of that and the humiliation and all of it. So I'm going to be driving out there. I might as well take the trailer because then I'll save on hotel costs because in Boston, oh my goodness. And then hopefully they'll let me park it somewhere that's nearby and I can show it to people. So it will be the longest tour of the trailer yet. I'm going to take the wheelchair-friendly RPG trailer all the way to Boston. Park my car in Harvard Yard. And so my boys recently moved to New Hampshire, and so I'll take my two oldest are there, and my youngest would love to visit him. So I'm going to bring him along, drop him off up in New Hampshire, go down to Boston, do the conference, and then I'm hoping, I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm hoping I can hook up with Jack Birkenstock of the Donna Group I think he's in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, I forget which. But hook up with him, hook up with Datillo, hook up with Mythic, basically do a tour of it, the northeast coast there, and come back. And this will be the longest loop yet, because we've been doing the northwest loop so far. Washington, Oregon, Idaho, I think that's it so far. So this will be going all the way across the country and back, so 10 to 14 days, give or take. It's going to be a long one. So that's coming in May. Woo! And then we've still got Spokon and who knows, maybe Gen Con, and we got Tolkien 14. And
They'd like to see us at RadCon.
Would they?
Yeah, they
I haven't heard that.
about that.
Well, I know they want us to come out and do their accessibility advocacy thing, but that's a little different. But
no, the ones that are board members that are also part of RadCon, they were talking to me and they're like, we'd like to see
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
Oh, I thought I said that after
if
the
it
meeting.
did, it fell out of my head. Sorry. Cool. Well, yeah. We'll always go to a con once to try it out. So that's we've got the show coming, we've got all these conferences, and we have all these programs coming. Charles is moving right near the Northeast Youth Center, so hopefully that'll be where his weekly program is that we start doing for the youth there. We're hoping to spin up stuff at the VA soon.
We're continuing at Spark Central and the MDA monthly meetings. And those are both monthly right now.
Also, so I mentioned RPG education. Also, this isn't live yet, but John and I had a meeting. We're getting ready to do it. So you've heard the whole gig economy thing, Uber, Fiverr, OnForce, etc. So I'm trying to do the same thing with the RPG professional game mastering. So I have the rpgnetwork.net, rpgnetwork.net. It's not ready yet. It's just a placeholder. But it's where game masters and players can start to connect and do it in a paid way with ratings and who has background checks and who doesn't, and get them connected with really professional game masters and pay them what they're worth because they're professionals and they really know you're going to have a really exceptional experience. So that's going to happen in 2018 soon, next 1 to 3 months. That platform will be happening if all goes well. Now, I'm doing all this, so if the timelines slip, bear with me, it'll get there eventually. I can't always meet the timelines, but I keep at it, and I eventually make it happen, and I'm stubborn that way, so it always happens eventually. But my timelines can be give or take. I have a non-linear experience of time sometimes, so. But that's all happening this year. Boy, I'm trying to find where that posting is. So we're about to wrap up here because we've gone plenty long.
We have another question.
Please.
It's about villains. I can't see half of it. It's the other computer.
This is why we need somebody helping. Get way too much on. Okay. Mouse back over there. Speaking of bad guys, any tips on playing villains? I think I'm no good at it, but my friend argues otherwise. Right, John says, a good villain thinks they are the hero. Think Magneto. Inikoyokai says, I try to give them motivation, not just evil to be evil. John, start with the motivation and what they feel they are willing to do to accomplish it. Yeah, so first of all, think of them that they're trying to save their town, their city, their country, their world.
Way of life.
Right, they're trying to save something. And they will do anything to achieve that goal because they believe that it's for the greater good. What they see as the greater good, even if others disagree with the greater good, is the bad guy at all costs to achieve that goal. It will do anything to achieve that goal because the ends justifies the means.
just a much darker than an anti-hero when you get down to it.
Right. Well, and then you have to make sure that what those things that they're doing crosses the line way more than an anti-hero does, and that really the ends is not good, right? Then you can depict that the ends and the means are both
You
not
have
good.
a campaign you've talked about where you're playing as orcs or
as goblins, and the elves keep raiding your villages. It's a AD&D 2nd edition. It's a supplement of one of the smaller ones there on the far right, I think. They're not all organized yet.
Okay.
But, okay, I forgot how to search. Okay, let's see. Searching Hawk Robinson will not work because I'm Hawk Robinson in Discord. So that will just turn up all my posts, so that will not help me find this show. I can't remember which channel he posted it in.
What is it called?
It's like Goblins and Elves, or I don't know.
I have a reverse.
But the good guys are the goblins. You play,
Reverse
reverse
dungeon.
No, that's John D. Ratliff. Remember I was mentioning John D. Ratliff as one of our guests? He wrote this. No, reverse dungeon. Where everything is backwards. So you can read the back of that, but that's not the one. It's along these lines.
Okay.
Just read the back of that while I look for stuff.
Okay.
Read it out loud.
Oh, the back of the...
Of that reverse dungeon?
Yeah.
Well, I still keep searching here. We're going to wrap up here as soon as I find this.
Herflith, the goblin, heard a knocking in
on heaven's door.
In the upper corridor. Those noisy explorers have found the secret entrance to the goblin's den. Herf must hurry to warn the tribe. The invaders cut him off at the pass, where he will be no means of stopping their mad advances into the lair. That would be, wouldn't it? Kind of.
Okay, yeah, but there's one where you actually play goblins, and those evil elves keep raiding your villages, driving your people away, and all you're trying to do is protect your families of goblin kids and such.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, where? Because Zoe has like 30 different Discord channels, and maybe it was Two Bards. Maybe it wasn't Discord. Maybe it was Two Bards. Oh, so many. Oh, there it is. Okay, it was Two Bards. Charles Halford is the actor, and he plays Hawk Robinson in...
Go from the little screen to the big screen.
Yeah. So,
oh, wow, he does look like your little brother.
Yeah, he could be my little brother. Here's a link into... Oh, gosh darn it. Here's the Twitch. Here's the link to him. Okay, so he is in... It's not Tangled. Longmire. Yep. He's in the show Longmire, the TV series. And there's the character, Hawk Robinson. And so he was in Thank You, Victoria as the episode. And if you look at the photo, he could be my little brother.
With long hair.
I get it, yeah. Well, my brother used to have hair down to his waist, and my brother looks an awful lot like me. He's a tanner, thinner Latin version, because he's been in Latin culture for decades. He's been working on a PhD in Latin philosophy and literature for a long time, and his wife is from Mexico and his kids are Mexican, and he's lived in Spain, and so he has a very, very Latin style way of talking and very distinct, but he's still my little brother. Yeah, Longmire. So Longmire, I guess, is it a Western?
It's kind of like a...
Absaroka County, Wyoming. Sheriff, psychic repair,
it's
but buries his...
It's kind of like a...
He's a man in psychic repair, but buries his pain by...
Western, okay. Is what I understand.
All right, anyway, so he's in there, and yeah, so total tangent, but I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, too many things popping up here. Go away. Oh, no, stop it. Okay, so that sums up. Finally, we've wrapped it all up. We definitely took a while, but I hope it was worth it to you. That is the year in, 30-something years in review of RPG research, the past year and the year coming. Lots of fun stuff. We'll start doing more stuff here on Twitch. If you're a Patreon supporter, I haven't checked to see if we can do controlled links between Patreon and Twitch, but we've been doing private videos through YouTube for certain levels of Patreon supports. So to support RPG Research, a nonprofit, in doing research studies on the effects of all role-playing games, and our community programs using role-playing games to help people improve their quality of life, to achieve educational, entertainment, professional, and therapeutic goals, you can donate to us monthly at patreon.com/RPG Research. A few dollars a month is great. If lots of people do that, it'll help us a lot. If you want to help towards the ideal wheelchair-friendly RPG trailer, go to our GoFundMe.com/RPG trailer and donate there. It's a one-time thing. We're trying to get about $6,000 for the down payment, and then we can order it, and then it takes about 6 to 8 months to build, etc., etc. And you can learn more about the RPG trailer at rpgtrailer.com. Our website is rpgresearch.com. I mentioned the RPG Network. I mentioned RPG Education. Both RPG Network and RPG Education are owned by the for-profit company RPG Therapeutics LLC, which is separate from the non-profit company RPG Research. Yes, I'm founder and president of both, but they are separate companies. RPG Research is pure research and community programs and feeding back into the research.
Yep.
That's RPG Research. RPG Therapeutics is professional services. So providing professional education, on how to become a professional role-playing gamer, the RPG Education website, hands-on professional training and mentoring of professionals, therapists, teachers, etc., using role-playing games, or delivering services in a very refined professional way. RPG Research, we do a lot of experimentation and let's see if this works and doesn't work, etc. RPG Therapeutics, it's already refined and we give you a professional package. The RPG Network is a delivery gig economy platform to help game masters meet players and get paid for the services they deliver, with background checks and all of that. And again, we're working on that. So those are two separate companies. RPG Research is the nonprofit that needs donations and such. So I hope you found this useful. If you didn't catch this when we were live, this will be automatically recorded on Twitch, but then those get deleted pretty quickly. So we got to download them, and then they will upload to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/RPG Research. And that way it'll be there a long time. I did record a local copy so that where we're cutting the channels out, I might just upload that instead because we got cut off. So I do have a local copy. But then it means I got to have time to edit and all that. And, I got too much
you
to
really
do.
need a tech guy.
Yeah, I do. I need an AA and everything else. That's not Alcoholics Anonymous. That's administrative assistant. Oh, why is the network offline? Why does it say the network error? Maybe it's just this computer, because please tell me when we're offline. Because it says it's green here.
Uh-huh.
It says it's live.
Oh,
okay, it was just, I think just the cache or something got wonky because I was changing browsers so many times. Okay, so we're going to call it quits unless you have any last minute questions. Anybody online? John, anybody else? Katie, Max, Danielle, anything you want to ask or state before we wrap up for the final broadcast of 2017? It's now 8:02 p.m. here Pacific time. We're less than 4 hours away from 2018. Or anything you just want to say to the public for posterity's sake.
Happy New Year.
Max, anything you want to ask or say? Okay, Katie? Okay. So, as I have a tagline I use to wrap up my Synthetic Zen music show and Tolkien Society. Wherever you may be well, Namarie, and for this, happy gaming and happy New Year.
Yeah.